they're sharing like, OIC has opened up opportunity for them to get their GED and go to culinary or construction. And we go around after they, talk about what they're doing. We go around and introduce ourselves. And everyone's talking about who they work for and who they're with, right? And Chandra gets the mic, and it's right before me. And Chandra goes, I just want to say I work for Jesus, right? And it's just quiet in there. Everyone's looking at her like, what? And I'm like, yeah, come on. And she's like, I'm with On Fire Ministries. And then I go and I'm like, look, I'm the pastor of On Fire Ministries, overseer of our On Fire youth of Yakima. And we're in the business of restoring the family. And we're also here to bring awareness and gang intervention and gang prevention, right? And so one of the girls, she said, hey, I have a question. She's on the panel. She's a part of the OIC. She goes, I have a question for you. She's like, what are ways that you're bringing gang awareness, gang prevention? She said, because sometimes it's cultural. And sometimes you can't get out of a gang. And so to force somebody to get out of a gang when all it is, their families are gang members, everyone around them are gang members, you may not understand that when you're in a gang to get out, you're going to die, right? And Chandra's like, yes, Dina, you're going to go right now, right? I'm so excited because I'm like, yeah. And so she's just talking about how, like, you may not understand what we're going through. You don't understand how hard it is for us young gang members. That's what I was hearing from her. You don't get us. So how can you tell us to stop doing what you don't know what we're doing, right? And so I get up, I raise my hand, and Nat gives me the mic, and I'm like, look, I know that life, okay? My husband and I, we both come from the streets of Yakima. My parents were both gang leaders, started a gang here in Yakima. I got put on the gang when I was 15 years old. I know what it means and what it feels like to not have hope of being able to get out of a gang. I know that life, right? I said all my uncles, my cousins, everybody that we knew, we were all gang members. There was no way out of this thing. And I said, and I saw what happened to guys that wanted to get out of the gang. They either ended up dead or they had to move out of the city or out of the state, right? They went into some type of hiding. You don't just get out of the gang. I said, I know that and I understand that. I said, but you don't see anything else when you're in it. But John and I, because we have been pulled out of it, and you know who pulled us out of it? I said, his name is Jesus. And we're in a place where it's not Christian, it's not church. I mean, me and Chandra are the only ones representing Jesus in that place, right? And you could see everybody that's from the juvenile system and probation system and the principals. I mean, they're looking over because it's like, this is real raw testimony that there is a way out, right? And as this young girl is saying, there's no way out. You don't understand me. I said, no. I understand you and there is a way out. His name is Jesus. There is no way out when all you're doing is programs. But let me tell you, the way out, his name is Jesus, right? And I was so excited, you guys. And you should have seen these kids. I mean, they were listening and they were respecting. They were like, wow, and everybody in there was just like, okay, well, somebody did make it out, right? And it reminded me of my teaching, and what I was going to be teaching today is that oftentimes we do judge others because we don't understand. It's a lack of empathy. We don't understand because we've never been in their shoes, right? We've never been the drug addict, and we've never been the dope head and the alcoholic and the gang member, right? But us who have been, we understand. Us who've been pulled out and we see from a different lens. This is what I told the young girl. I said, look, now I have a different perspective. And I said, and what God is doing is he's bringing an awareness that you don't have to die in the streets, but he has a better plan for you. And the plan is for you to live. Another girl raised her hand in there and she said, okay, well, I have a question for you. How do you run your program and teach about God if everyone's beliefs ain't the same? What do you do? Like push it on them, force them, or how do you do it, right? And I'm like, look, we lead by example. We love them. We don't judge them. And this isn't about, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. We walk it out by an example and we say, hey, follow me as I follow Jesus, right? We lead them by an example. And so she said, wow, I really like that. So when I talked to the young girl afterwards, before we left, she was like, hey, you know what? You're right.